So next clock in or clock out. This is going to be a touchy one for Austin, especially. If the Lakers don't make the playoffs,
Oh, I didn't see this one on the in the notes in the pre-show notes.
LeBron's legacy will be affected if they don't make the playoffs this year. Are you clocked in or clocked out on that?
If you said if the Lakers don't make the playoffs, it'll affect his legacy.
Yes.
Clock out. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Again, I don't. It's amazing, to me, but this is just the LeBron fact. AD's a top 75 player, right? He's supposed to be a top 10 to 15 guy. You lose that, they're not going to be good. They're not. And then you look at the roster that they have, they're not going to be good. Now, if the Magic stuff is true, where they could have got DeRozan and, he wanted to get Westbrook as a LeBron GM, sure, like that's a flaw. But they're not a good team. Again, look at their roster. You take away AD, Kendrick Nunn hasn't played, Ariza hasn't played. He's bringing up guys from the Lifetime Open League. So, no, this isn't going to freaking mess up his legacy. Does Jordan's stint with the Wizards mess up his legacy?
That's not the same.
Huh?
Not the same.
Why isn't it the same? They're both freaking 40. Why isn't it the same?
It's not the same thing. Well, you guys know I'm clocked in that it will, obviously, based on my response.
Well, wait, hold on. Why isn't it the same?
There's a difference between.
We're not talking. I don't want to bring up Kobe, but I mean, I see where you're going, Josh.
Well, there's a difference. There's a difference between it being LeBron's fault and it affecting his legacy. Because it's LeBron, I think it will affect his legacy because of the expectations that they came to the season and the stuff LeBron was saying. LeBron went into the season, he tweeted, "Everybody's talking about our team now. Keep that same energy." Kobe wasn't saying that stuff. Kobe wasn't involved in front office decisions.
Stop it. Hold on. You're telling me that no one in the front office is talking to Kobe and saying, "Hey, we're thinking about signing this guy."
It's not about talking to you. It's about you being you trying to be the GM. Kobe was never that. Look at the team.
All right. See, that's where I lose you here.
Look at the team that LeBron took to the finals, his last stint with the Cavs. They weren't that wasn't a good team. It wasn't. Look at his Cavs. Look at his early Cavs teams. They weren't that good. They were
in the East, and they played together. First of all, there's a lot of variables that were missing.
Playoffs.
There's a lot of variables that were missing. LeBron's been hurt too. They haven't been healthy.
Austin, I'm not saying it's his fault. It's the difference between it being his fault and in fact he didn't make the playoffs when they were expected to be a contender in 2013.
When this isn't messing up his legacy, dog. When Jordan's earlier years, does that mess up his legacy?
It's something that will be included.
Nobody talks about Jordan's early years when it comes to playoffs.
The
Magic series.
Jordan's early years, he didn't have expectations to win. He didn't.
He was deemed the best player in the freaking league.
I mean, he had expectations to win, not to win a championship.
Expectations from who?
Austin, I watched The Last Dance today. He was the best player in the league his rookie or second year, and the front office was trying to tank because they wanted a lottery pick, and he was like, "I'm trying to make the playoffs." And the GM literally said, "Well, we're not going to win a championship this year." So I wasn't trying to risk him getting hurt again. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying is it going to hurt his legacy? Is it going to but it is going to be something that I think is going to be considered.
I say absolutely not. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't consider it.
I,
And
I know you're not, but
I'll consider the Dallas Maverick series, like where he actually had the opportunity to be on the stage. But like this season doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. Your second best player was hurt. You got role players that they brought in hurt. Russell Westbrook is awful.
how did it not? Thing?
Huh?
You guys can't. You like, all right. I'm not a LeBron hater. I'm just a realist. You guys can't. He's LeBron. He has expectations. He like LeBron fan let him off the hook all the time. He has.
Nobody's letting him off the hook. I'm just saying when I look at LeBron's career, I'm not going to talk about this year.
You might not. That's you. I'm talking about like
Who
the.
are you talking about?
I'm talking
Kobe
about
people?
the broader sports world. They're gonna look at this year and be like, "Yo, you like he didn't make the playoffs
Okay,
compared to the expectations that he had." The
but
year that Kobe playoffs, they were disgusting. Smush Parker, Chris Mim, uh, like there was no expectations. They had 4 Hall of Fame on that team, and it's not his fault. There's nothing else LeBron could have done. Like I'm gonna say,
okay, but then we also got to realize we're talking about LeBron freaking James. Everybody, this is the only superstar that you're literally going to bring up every blemish of this guy. This doesn't happen to anyone else. So I get what you're saying from that standpoint, but nobody gets scrutinized like LeBron does. And that's a fact. So from that standpoint, sure. But in a realistic situation, when you look at his body of work, no, this is no. I
okay,
don't.
let me
I
ask
don't.
let me ask you this: LeBron is what 3-5 in the right?
Hmm.
His early Cavs teams, the ones that went to the finals against the Spurs in '07, they weren't supposed to win that championship, right? No one expected them to win that championship. People still talk about it. No one is gonna if you're an actual basketball fan, no one is gonna look at that Cavs team that got swept by the Spurs or whatever and think they were supposed to win that series, right? No, I don't, and no one should. However, it's still going to be included in his legacy. The fact that no one's going to say, "Well, he's really 3-4 in the finals because he wasn't supposed to win that." That's what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be included, regardless of whether it's valid or not. It's going to be included.
I mean, you can include a lot of things in any superstar's legacy, but does it carry a certain amount of weight? To me, this doesn't. But again, it's LeBron James, dog. Like people make up headlines when this dude ties his shoes a certain way. They're gonna talk about it.
Okay, LeBron plays a part in all this. He deemed himself King James coming into the league. He wore number 23. Let's not act like he doesn't play a part in some of the criticism, the decision. Like
And he's lived up to the hype.
he has, yes, he has. But you guys are like a lot of LeBron fans act like it's unfair. No, it's not unfair. It comes with the territory. It's now is it should some people go overboard? I 100% agree.
A lot of people go overboard.
But the reality is he's 3-5 in the finals, right? If you're and he's called himself the GOAT. He said after the Golden State series, he considers himself the GOAT. Okay, you're saying that yourself now. So
I think he's earned the right to say that.
yeah, you can definitely look at his resume and say that. But when you say stuff like that, people are going to nitpick at you. Well, is he
Well,
really?
yeah, he's gonna get nitpicked for everything. So the real question is when you look at his full body of work, right, and you're comparing certain people, where do you put him? And sure, this season you could include it, but again, I look at what he's done statistically, his championships, um, you know, just the whole spectrum, and he's arguably one of the
Yeah,
greatest
I've been
or
saying
the greatest.
I've been saying three. Yes, four. He's four. I think he's 4 and 6 or something.
4 and 6 maybe.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I mean that's a good question. It brings good debate, but yeah, man. I mean the guy's gonna be criticized for everything. Like that's just what it comes down to.
yeah. I mean, it's not all fair. And like I said, I don't dislike LeBron. I think that his leadership at times can be better when things go wrong. Um, but you know, you can't deny his greatness and what he's done.